This is a photo of Miss Isabelle Fitz. She was born in 1863, and the photo was taken in 1881. She graduated from Chester Academy and attended Wesley College. She taught in Epping, Hampstead, West Newbury, and Groton. She was the correspondent for the Derry News. She told her readers in 1906 about her first automobile ride. She complained that her driver went down the Chester Hills much too fast. The opening day of the trolley in 1896, during the celebration in which the governor attended, she read a poem she wrote. The last stanza said, "Welcome then, electric railroad, Chester's joy and Chester's pride. Motorman, turn on the current. Come, O Muse, we'll take a ride." Isabelle owned the general store. It was run by Wilson Wells. It was called then the Chester Market and later Spollett's. She sold it later in 1931. The first library that Chester ever had was just a couple of shelves inside of Wilkins' store. In 1895, the town bought the Dearborn shop. It was only 16 feet by 22 feet. It was a shoe shop, and it had served as a post office in 1856. This building was to the right of the general store, and Miss Fitz lived in the house behind it. In July of 1895, Miss Isabelle Fitz was hired as the Chester Librarian. She was paid only $5 a year, and she remained for 35 years. In 1929, her salary was only $40 a year. She was offered $50, but she turned it down, saying it was much too much. What intrigues me about Miss Fitz the most is during the first 24 years of the library, she did not take a single vacation day. Rain, snow, sleet, she walked to keep her library open. She was forced to close the library for 3 weeks during the Spanish flu epidemic of 1919. Oh boy, that sounds familiar. And also during the scarlet fever outbreak in 1926. That year, she burned several books because they were contaminated. Isabelle died in 1935. She is buried in the Chester Village Cemetery in the center of town. So the little 16 by 22 foot library got moved to 76 Chester Street and is now Kiki and Kevin's living room.
I am here this morning with Kiki and Kevin Brandley in front of their house on Chester Street, which is right next door to the municipal building. And guess what? This was the first library that Isabelle Fitz worked in.
This main part of the house, where the flag to the left over there is part of the original library in town. That one room, which is our living room. These two rooms on this side to the right were added on at some time, probably by the Smiths that lived here before my in-laws.
We added a breezeway, a two-car garage, and the back of it has a little horse barn with a stall and a tack area. So when we pulled up the carpeting and the linoleum that was there, we saw this beautiful floor. And we're pretty sure that the floor in the living room is the original floor from when it was the library. And I think it was noted in the town history that the librarian loved the house because of the big windows. And it had windows on all the sides, and we still have those big windows on 2 sides of the building.
Inside of Kiki and Kevin's living room, you can see the 4 corner beams, which lay out the 16 by 22 size original library. On the wall is the metal plate where the wood stove was, which heated the library. In 1930, the library moved from the tiny little shoe shop into Stevens Memorial Hall. It remained there for 51 years. In 1981, the library moved again, next door into the Ruth Ray Library. After Ruth Ray left in her will the two buildings to the town. The books were moved by a human chain, passing one book after another. Callie Lighthall shared this fabulous photo with me of moving day. I found this wonderful newspaper article in our museum. It was written by Joan Watts, a wonderful Chester historian, for the New Hampshire Sunday News. And it says, on March 28th, a chain of human links will form to move the approximately 6,000 volumes from the town hall to the brand new Chester Library. Old folks, young folks, and middle-aged folks have signed up to be part of the 70-person chain needed to move the books one by one. The new library will house approximately 11,000 volumes, almost double its former capacity.